What's this thing that they added?
Lock.
Oh, lock. What does it lock?
Use money. What's up, y'all? Anything you want to do today? Postures, body parts you want to mess with? What? Okay. Anyone else? Joe. All right, let's play around. Okay. All right, taking a seat. Close the eyes. Sit up nice and tall. Bless you. So take a couple breaths. A couple deep breaths, full breaths. Recognize it. Notice what's happening. Notice how much deeper you can breathe when you focus on it a little bit. Let your belly come out as you take a big breath, and notice how you could even get deeper in the breath. You could fill it up even more. And there's different ways to play with your breath. In our practice, right, we know that it's not always that same breath from the beginning until the end. As we change our postures and we link things up and we challenge ourselves, the breath has to change, right? The heart rate comes up, or if we want to hit our belly and hit that, like engage your abdominal wall a little more, you could push out and exhale. And every time you push out, the belly draws in. So if you need to pick your breath up, let's say you're in an inversion, you're kicking up, maybe the breath goes a little faster. And then you let it settle again. And that's what you got to think about. What is the breath asking from me? What do I need it? What do I need from it? What can it give me? What can I give it? How do you enhance each moment? So maybe sit here and listen to yourself breathe and feel those big breaths. Or start some of those little refinements. Slowing down, beginning of inhale, pushing more on the end of the exhale, counting out the breath, finding Ujjayi. Whatever feels good to you in this moment. Right, with it, the next moment will be a new breath, a new opportunity. Sit back a little bit. Feel the sit bones root. Feel the muscles running up the spine start to ignite. Let the head and the throat settle back. On the next inhale, feel the arms lift. And on the exhale, bring the fingertips and the knuckle pads to root. Think about that time that you had. The full length of the inhale, the full length of the exhale. So if our exhale was 2 seconds, that's how long we wanted it to take to lift our arms. And if our exhale was 2 seconds, how long it takes for the hands to come together in Anjali Mudra. It's going to be the same thing through the practice. You've been hearing me say lately, like, it's like slow motion, but it's not. It's really just in tune with your breath. And one time together to initiate our practice, the song of our breath. Together, the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. Inhale, lift the head, open the eyes, release the hands. Okay, let's start out all fours, hands and knees. Hand is an inch or two in front of your shoulders, knees an inch or two behind your hips. Fingers are spread, right? Like evenly here. I want to bring a little bit of detail there. And I use my breath, right? I spread those fingers on the inhale, and on the exhale, I start to claw like I'm pulling my fingertips back towards my knuckle pads. I'm rooting these knuckle pads down into the floor. In my feet, curl your toes, and I'm going to sweep my inner heels out. They want to do this. I'm being dramatic. You want to go this way. Then you want to hug the shins in. So now you're pulling opposing forces together. Pull the belly in. Pull the shutters closed. See, I'm full here. Like, that's not enough, and that's too much. So you got to find that sweet spot. Slide the head and the throat back. Bring the chin to the chest a little bit so your gaze is right across your fingertips. This is low mountain, right? We do this all the time. You should be hugging all muscle to bone here. You should feel like a mountain. Like if anybody tried to come over and move you, it's solid, right? You're locked in. And then breathe. Feel the expansion through the ribs, front to back, top to bottom, side to side. And then when you're ready, work your cat-cow. Inhale, arch the back, lift the sit bones, reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, round the back. Look to your belly. Lengthen your sit bones towards your heels. Your inhale, arch. Your exhale, round. Now everything else still holding into that low mountain. So you're still clawing the floor. You're hugging the hands in. Forearms are the midline. You're squeezing your biceps. You still got that sweep of the heels and the hugging the shins in. So the adductors are engaged. Pulling your heels to your butt to your heels so those hamstrings have a connection. And moving slowly with the breath. One more. And then come to a neutral position, so find that flat back. Take the knees back a couple inches, come to puppy dog. So this is the common tendency I see in puppy dog, that we lose the shutters and this happens. We want to be here. We pull those shutters closed. Now, just like you did before, you're hugging the hands in. Now lift the forearms up. Lift the inner biceps up so there's a little more engagement. Slide your forehead off the mat if it's touching, so you start to engage that upper back. Pull the belly in, pull those shutters closed. And as you keep the forearms and the inner biceps lifting up, soften your chest towards the mat, but don't lose the shutters. And then look forward, TP the fingers on the right hand, thread the left hand underneath with the palm up. Take that little twist. Inhale is going to root down into the knees. It's going to hug in that little bit. It's going to peel the spine forward. And then that exhale, you could twist into the pose a little bit deeper. You could even take your right elbow to the sky. It'll make some more space. And then you can start to reach under a little bit further. And then inhale, come back to center. Soften down the middle. Pull those shutters closed. And then when you're ready, look forward. TP the fingers on the left hand. Thread that right hand underneath with the palm up. Now, the common tendency is that right hip is going to try to collapse on you. So keep building it up as you push down, as you inhale.
And then as you twist deeper, hold that space in the hip, but go deeper in the twist. That's taking the elbow to the sky, starting to peek under, maybe reaching a little bit further. And then inhale, come back to center. Soften down the middle. Next inhale, come up. Work your knees in, all fours. Take a couple breaths. Find that low mountain again. Step back to plank. Push back to downward dog. First downward dog, you could bend the knees. Every downward dog, you could bend the knees. First one, I just always say, like, soften it up a little bit. So you could work on some of these other things and start to reinforce some of these engagements that we want to have. So when we take the legs out of it, we can concentrate on the upper body a little more. We can go back to hugging the hands in. We can keep those forearms lifting up and those inner biceps lifting up. Slide your throat back so that your cheeks or your biceps or your cheeks or your ears are in line with your biceps. Pull your belly in and your shutters closed. Now as you push your hands down and forward isometrically, so without like any kind of movement, you're going to feel your chest start to come back towards your toenails. You want that. There's that big opener now up the arms and the chest and the side bodies. Feel broad in the upper back. Now engage the legs, so pull your heels to your butt and your butt to your heels, and then start to pedal the heels. The right heel down, inhale it up, exhale the left heel down. Inhale, bring it up, take that right down, and just work with the breath. You got about 2 or 3 seconds, right, for each breath, so this is where it kind of feels like slow motion. But again, it's not. It's just in tune with your breath. If you started on your right, finish on your left. Whatever your side 2 is. Then come to neutral. If it felt better to bend those knees, bend the knees. If it felt better to straighten both legs, straighten both legs. And let the inhale come forward to plank. Exhale back to downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Back to downward dog. Keep it going. We're just going to move a little dynamically here, probably about 5 of these or so. But notice, are you trying to speed up? Probably, right? That's the common tendency. Stay with your breath. One more, and then as you come forward, let the exhale lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take 3 nice breaths. So charge those legs up. Take those shoulders back and down. After your 3 breaths, lower the chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Keep your hands down. Swivel to the outside of the right foot and the inside of the left. And then keep pushing your hands down and forward like you're taking your hips back to where the ceiling and the wall meet at the back of the room. And there's that left side engaged. Right side peeling. Inhale, come back to center. Swivel over to side 2. Right side engaged. Left side peeling. Inhale, come back to center. Next inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take 3 nice breaths. Your breaths. After your 3 breaths, back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through. Lunge. Find your fingertips of your blocks. Get that space for your spine. Work the legs. So we're pushing down. We're hugging in. Square that left hip forward a little bit like you're hugging to the inside of this right thigh. Slide the head and the throat back.
Now as you reach out of your back heel, reach forward out of your front knee, forward out of the crown of the head, even breathing side to side. Exhale, lower the back knee. Inhale the arms in front, take them up. Pull that belly in, pull the shutters closed. Then let the right hand grab that, right hand grabs the left wrist. Take that side bend to the right. We're in the front of that thigh. We're even in the psoas a little bit more now. Keep the back heel sweeping out. Keep dragging that back knee forward. Keep pulling the pelvic floor up, the belly button in, the shutters closed. Keep peeling up and go a little bit deeper into that pose. One more breath. Inhale, come up. Exhale, the hands down. Flip the blocks up nice and high. Lift your back knee. Slowly straighten your front leg. Re-square your left hip forward and down. Look forward. Climb the spine up out of the waist. And then maybe go ahead and fold down the inside of that right leg. See, I want to keep the spine nice and tall here. The common tendency is this. I don't want to be here, right? That's reinforcing my misalignment of life. I want to be out here looking in front of my toes. I'm not going to get out there, but that's where I want to reach for. Now as I hinge at my hip crease instead of crunching my belly. One more breath. And then look forward, bend into that lead knee. Remember the breath? Then place the hands down. Then step back, downward dog. See, if you stay with the breath, that's how you're going to keep that pace. Work through your vinyasa one time. Yeah, nice, y'all. Beautiful. Reach your left leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Right, for me, I like to start on my blocks. The past few weeks, I've been able to get a little bit deeper into my lunges, right? That's me in my practice. Where do you need to be, right? But for me to start out here and just reinforce all this, and then after a few breaths, I could usually start to bring myself down a little bit. But if I feel like this happens, then I go right back to the blocks. And sometimes that happens. But if I can hold this space through my spine, then I'm going to want to challenge myself, right? I'm going to see if I get a little bit lower. But find where you need to be. Then we reach out of the back heel. As you pull this front heel back, that's when you're going to reach out of the knee. And that helps to clear this hip, even though it's in deep flexion. And then you reach out of the crown of the head. You even breathe side to side. And then slowly lower the back knee. Stay with the breath. Yep. Inhale, come up. Pull that pelvic floor up. When you pull the shutters closed, that's where you feel the lift. Even go up through your thumbs here, ignite the back of the arms. Then the left hand's going to grab that right wrist. Inhale goes up. Then the exhale goes just a little bit. Yep. We talked about the low body before, dragging the knee, like sweeping the heel, dragging the knee, squaring the hip. In the upper body, whatever angle you're on, peel up. And then go a little deeper. And then whatever angle you're on, peel up again. Yeah, take the head and the throat back. Take the arms back a little bit. One more breath. And as the inhale comes up, exhale the hands down to the blocks. Yeah, you see where the slow motion kind of feels like it kicks in? Just because we're moving with our breath. Then lift the back knee. Right? 2 seconds is a long time to lift that back knee. Then the straighten the leg. Yep. Then the next inhale looks forward. 2 seconds to peel that spine or whatever your breath is. And then another 2 seconds as you fold. Right? Sometimes in life, 2 seconds is fast. But in yoga, a lot of times, 2 seconds is a long time. You can get a lot of shit done in those 2 seconds. And there's a lot of shit to do, right? There's a ton going on here. There's nothing mindless about our practice. It's very mindful, right? Very conscious. A couple more breaths. Keep reaching forward out of the waist and then folding down the inside of that leg. One more breath. Then as you look forward, bend into that lead knee. Place the hands down. Step back, downward dog. Move through your vinyasa one time. Nice, y'all.
Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, take a nice big reach. Draw that belly in and lengthen those sit bones down, curl back a little bit. Feel that peel come off that abdominal, like through the abdominal, off the pubic bone. Maybe even curl back a little bit. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands at the tops of the thighs, sit back. Push the weight of your arms, the strength of your arms, the weight of your upper body down into the tops of your thighs. And you're persuading them down away from your, trying to open this little hip crease here. Belly's in, shutters are closed. Push down, rise up, take the arms up overhead. Maybe curl back that little bit. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Yeah, right, there's those 2 seconds. That's a long time to look forward. Exhale, fold, or whatever your breath is. 2 seconds is just kind of like the average or where we all fall into, right? Sometimes 3. Right hand to the outside of the left calf. Left hand to fingertips, block, hip, reach up if you want. Some of you like to take that extension there in the arms. Whatever feels good to you. Inhale, come back to center, soften down the middle, swap the hands. Take that little twist. Side 2. Keep the weight balance in the feet though. Don't go too far back, don't go too far forward. Inhale, come back to center. Next inhale, look forward. Drag your fingertips back towards your feet to peel that spine, and then go ahead and fold a little deeper. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, big reach. Exhale, hands in front. Right leg forward, left leg back, triangle. So see, for me, where I first wanted to set up my triangle, if I was to bend into my warrior 2 leg, look what happens. I'm a little too short, right? So I'd have to move back just that hair. Then when I bend into that warrior 2 leg, it all matches up, right? Or my Parsva leg, whatever we're looking at. But triangle, we tend to do short all the time. Take this thigh back, take this hip back, take the arms out to the side. Get tall here, so breathe up out of your waist. Yep, when you're ready, hinge at the right side of the hip, bring the hand down to the block or the floor. Inside the foot will be a little more accessible, a little more therapeutic. Behind the foot will be a little more challenging. Keep opening up that right side body. Maybe start to look up your arm. Keep the power in the legs. Keep connection through the core. And then work that rotation. Belly in, shutters closed, so the top of the ribs go back. The bottom of the ribs start to come forward. One more breath. Push into that front heel. Inhale, come up tall. Bend into that lead knee, warrior 2. Elbow to the thigh. Bicep along the cheek, extended side angle. Hand to the block of the floor if you want to extend it a little bit. To protect that outside, that TFL IT band, you notice I ride on the inside of my foot as compared to keeping the blade edge down. That actually helps give a little more neutrality to hold in that space. Maybe rotate open. Yep, one more breath. Inhale, come up to that warrior 2. Push that front leg straight. Step forward. Take a couple breaths. Full breath in, complete breath out. And then gently release, swap side 2. Nice poses, y'all. So balance beam, right? Front heel in line with the back arch. This always wants to happen, right? It's got to go this way. That's why you want to take the thigh and the hip back right away. See where your distance is. Take the arms out to the side. Get nice and tall. Yep, when you feel you got that lift, go ahead and take that hinge. We don't want to hinge until we make the space, right? Because where are we moving into? You're going to have to force it into someplace, right? Because once you start moving, it's got to go someplace. Is it going to go someplace optimal? Or is it just going to create another misalignment? That's why yoga's conscious, right? Because we're aware of what we're doing.
What result are we getting from the action? Maybe start to look up, play with that balance a touch, and build up through the legs, through the core. Keep that spine lengthening so left side is opening, right side's engaging. And then we breathe. We soften our face. We settle right into this moment. We settle in the moment, right? Push into that front heel. Inhale, come up tall. We don't just suffer through. Bend into that lead knee. Yeah, there's the elbow to the thigh. That's a whole nother half a breath, right? And then we sweep. Yeah, that's where the slow motion seems like it takes over. Hand down to the block or the floor. Play wherever feels good to you. Keep lengthening that left sit bone towards that left heel, or sweeping the left heel towards the brick wall, and the knee starts peeling out. You feel the inside of the thighs open up, those adductors. Maybe we start to rotate open that little bit. Top of the ribs back, bottom of the ribs forward. Breath is smooth, face is soft. One more breath. Push into that front heel. Inhale, come up to that warrior two. Then the front leg straightens. Then we step forward. Nice, y'all. Couple breaths here. 2 of them I think we did before, so take 2 here. And then gently release the hands. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, take a big reach. Maybe curl back into it. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Now stay active in your posture by inhale, looking forward, charging the legs, dragging the fingers back, extending the spine, and exhale, folding. Or you hold a little more static, right? Wherever you want to play. I like playing with the dynamic because it stays with the breath. Each inhale, I like to charge my legs. I like to look forward. And the exhale, I like to fold. The next inhale, I do the same thing. Charge the legs, look forward, peel that spine. Now that helps me in my practice, right? What is it that you need to bring into your practice? Could be the same, could be a little different. I mean, you know, usually there's not a right and a wrong, but sometimes there is, right? We got to still follow the alignment. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, take a nice big reach. And exhale, hands in front. Tree pose. We'll root into our left leg. Take your right leg up, open the hip. Bring the toes either facing down, low on your leg, or up high. If you're in that in-between spot where you're close to your knee, just don't push into your knee joint. Push into the top of the, like just above the knee into the thigh a little bit. Hands can come in front, Anjali Mudra. Lean back. Feel your left heel get heavy. Your left toes you should be able to move. Not your big toe mound, but your toes. The heel should be nice and heavy. Now push your hands together. And as you push your hands together, now take a breath. The inhale is going to peel up out of the waist. That's the space. Now start to go sit bone to heel or sweep your heel towards the front of the room and that knee is going to start to go out. Breathe. Take the arms up if you want to extend. Look up. Maybe close your eyes. And open your eyes. Exhale in front. Nice, y'all. Swap side too. See, right away, spread your toes. Get the outer edge and the heel down. That's where you're going to get all that balance from. And then when you're ready, left comes up. We open the hip, either low or high. As you're pushing your foot into your thigh, push your thigh back into your foot. So both sides are coming into the midline there. See, I don't worry about my knee coming forward now. I just worry about taking my right hip back. You'll get the knee to come out when you start sweeping the heel or going sit bone or whatever we're going to work. Now push the hands together. That's where we breathe now and peel up out of the waist. Now we can start those little adjustments to sit bone to the heel or sweeping the heel, and we start to open the inner thigh a little bit more. Your adductors, one of the areas we're working on today. Maybe take the arms up overhead. Maybe look up. Spread your fingers. Hug in like you're squeezing a beach ball between your forearms. And then maybe close your eyes. And open the eyes. And exhale, release. Starts out so good sometimes, right? And like, just like that, it starts to wobble around. But that's the game, right? Set the feet. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up. Maybe curl back a little bit. Inhale, come up. Exhale, right hand behind your back, left hand to your elbow. Keep the hips back. This wants to happen, right? This way. Yep. And then as you push your forehead back into your arm, you can stand up a little straighter using the feedback, and then you could draw the fingers up to intensify the stretch a little bit. Exhale, release. Inhale the arms up. Swap side two. Remember, this is a better look than this. We'd rather be here because this is at least hinging at our hip. We're neutral, right? This is anterior pelvic tilt misalignment, cramming up that lumbar spine. And then push the head back and use that to stand up a little taller. Yep. And then play with drawing those fingers up if that feels good. Exhale, release. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog. Move through your vinyasa 3 times. So we're going to flow through a little bit. Stay with your breath. We'll meet back in downward dog. And from downward dog, lower your knees. Grab a drink while you're here if you feel like you want to take a little break. Go back to the breath, whatever feels good. And then we'll meet in hero's pose. So take your time, there's no rush. So the space between our knees will all be different, but everybody, the outsides of the shins will all be parallel with the sides of the mat. So like if this is happening, right? This isn't parallel, just like if this is happening, not parallel, right? So set that up. Could even, we talked about this last week, I think it was, called bisecting the calf. It's where you take your, maybe it was that Tuesday? We talked about calves on Tuesday, maybe? Yeah, it might have been Tuesday. So you take your thumbs, there's 2 heads in those calf muscles. You're going to push that outside one away, and then you're going to sit back between your heels. And it'll start to get the calf out of the way, but see how it creates some internal rotation for me, right? See my calf sticking out, kind of holds that all in place. Unsickle your feet, you'll notice your butt will get a little bit lower. Yep. Now we can stay here. Some of you are gonna wanna lay back. You could take your hands behind you, and now we've taken the hip into extension. This is flexion. All right, so when we go back here, we're getting this nice stretch. Here we're stretching the quads, the 3 of them. Rectus femoris is the one that does the hip as well. So when you lay back, that's how you get to stretch that as well. But there's a trick, right? Like everything, making space first and then moving into it. So inhale, breathe up out of your waist. Exhale, go belly button to spine, pubic bone to the ceiling or sit bones to the backs of your knees, and then you can lay back. It fills in your low back for you. Then you can do that again. Belly to spine, pubic bone to the sky, the low back fills in, or sit bones to your heels, and you can lay back even further. Go to what feels good to you. Don't lose flicking the toenails into the floor.
Don't lose hugging the shins in. Don't lose your pelvic floor, so keep drawing that up. Yep. And then keep playing with the pose wherever feels good to you. Couple more breaths. And when you're ready, inhale, come up. Big and tall. Yep. And then come to all fours. And then just reach one leg back. Ball of the foot stays on the floor. Belly in. And then just reach out of that heel a little bit, opening up the knee and the hip. And then lower it down and swap into your side too. Then lower it down. Bring your feet together. Walk your hands back. Come to squat pose. I'm sorry. I said walk your feet together. Keep your feet hips width apart and walk your hands back and come to Malasana. So we're on the insides of the thighs again, right? We're gonna go back to the quads in just a couple breaths, but we'll hit this while we're here. Here's the divot, right, in my knee, and that's where my arm fits, the back of my arm, right in that little divot. Then I hug in, and then I push away. Try to work from your feet. See, I'm still able to keep my arches alive. I gotta keep lifting my arches up. They wanna do this, and the outside of my foot isn't even rooted. I gotta get the outside of my foot to root. I gotta lift those inner arches up. I want to hug in a little bit. Now I want to push my elbows away to stretch. Then I want to drive my elbows down into my knees, start working that spine a little bit more. Yeah, so the negative rounding, that negative energy isn't just dominating the pose. Then you can stay here if you want. If you want to work the crow, you can lift the hips up. We played with this the other day, right? So here's another chance for you to play with it if you were just learning the pose. If you're learning the pose, lift your butt up high like this to the sky. And when you bend your knees, bring them to the backs of your arms. They were on the outside of your arms. This will give you a little more foundation. Then you're going to walk your feet together first so your big toe mounds are touching. Then you're going to look forward. And as you look forward, you're going to start bringing the weight forward. And as the weight comes forward, the feet start to float. When your feet come up off the ground, pull your heels to your butt. And then keep pushing your hands down. Yeah. Nice, y'all. Spin around to a seated position. Baby cradle. Bend your right leg. Bring your left foot either into the crease of your elbow or take your hand underneath your ankle and the other one underneath your shin. And you can sit up nice and tall. Push out of the big toe mound. That shoots the energy up. First, it's going to bring your ankle joint neutral, and then it'll start to ignite some of the muscles here around the knee to keep it safe. Because it's in a tough position right here, right? We got to make sure that we're keeping that knee safe. You hear me say all the time, right? Knees work awesome forward and back and terrible side to side. Right now, it's a side to side. So we got to stay safe here. Right here starts at your foot. Push that big toe mound out into your bicep. Yep, and then pull the pinky toe side like back down your forearm towards your hand. And then sit up nice and tall. Yep, and you can go side to side if that feels good. Don't let me stop you from doing the arm balance if you want. Astha Vakrasana, feel free. Does everyone know what Astha Vakrasana is? Take your left leg up, high on your arm. Squeeze your arm between your leg. Place your hands down like downward dog. Take your right ankle over your left and bring them to the outside of your hand. Bend both elbows. Squeeze your legs together. Now we're engaging those adductors. Then if you want to play with extending the adductors, release the leg, pull the knee towards your elbow, bend the elbows again, hinge. Now I'm going to take that back leg to where the ceiling and the wall meet.
And swap side 2, baby cradle. So I can't get to the AC, and I like this shit. So if you feel it's hot, you can turn it on. What are we gonna do? It's summertime. Oh my gosh, we're gonna melt. It's summertime. It's supposed to be hot, right? It's hard. It's supposed to be hard. It's summer. It's supposed to be hot. Y'all better hope for no power outage. Be in trouble. A little side to side. The other day, it was like down, you know, because I moved. So down at the beach, it's like, oh, we have a near record high of 85. Me and Jess laughed. We were like, near record high 85. It ain't shit. We've been in the city for 30 years. It's nothing. All right, so we stay here or lift up, take the arm underneath. This wants to happen, right? So that's why I got to squeeze my arm between my leg. Then I place my hands. Look where my hands are. They're just like downward dog, right? If I was going to do a downward dog, same hand placement. Then you take your left ankle over your right, and then you're going to bring them to the outside of your hand. Now I'm in that position, right, where my feet are outside my hand. So now I can bend my elbows and then squeeze my thighs together. And then that little play into Ekapada Kunyasana 2, you release, and see I got to pull my knee towards this opposite elbow. Then I can hinge through. Now, coming back, to me, a little more challenging. You getting that? Who's getting that? Ugh. Yeah. Tough to go back in, I think. Like, how did we do? Pretty good? Awesome. All right. Spin around, all fours, and we'll meet back in downward dog. Let's get in these. Let's get in the front of these thighs one more time. Let's get a lizard. We'll get a little twisted monkey in. Then we get to the back of the hip, hit some inversions, and we'll be starting to wind down. So we'll meet back in downward dog. Bring that right leg straight back. Come forward, right knee to left elbow. Kick the leg out to the side. Take the hips up and back. So we're in that TFL. IT band. TFL is a hip flexor. And then inhale, unwind, reach that leg back to where the ceiling and the wall meet, and then lower it down, take a breath, reach the left leg straight back, come forward, left knee to right elbow, kick the leg out to the side, take the hips up and back, like hips are going back to where the ceiling and the wall meet at the back of the room, and then drag that leg back to the left. If you're not a tight TFL IT band person, you're getting this more from the knee to your ankle bone, outside of the leg. Inhale, unwind, reach that leg back, lower it down. Reach the right leg straight back, step it through, lunge. Exhale, lower the back knee. Take your right foot out towards the right edge of your mat. Your blocks would be your friend, so keep them close. When you turn your toes open a little bit, it just makes it a little more accessible on the inside of the thigh. And then remember, this is not symmetrical. Your left hip is lower than your right, but the left hip always wants to drop. So my little trick is just lower your right elbow first, and it'll help keep this left hip. See, if I lower my left one first, see how my hip wants to drop? So if I bring the inside arm down, that helps me hold the hip a little bit more. Now, if you could bring both of them down at the same time and hold the hip, awesome. If you need to use the little trick, same awesome. Now keep dragging that back knee forward. If your right knee is blowing out the side, move your foot out to the right a little bit more and try to hug the knee in a little. We're going to try to keep it on top of the ankle, best that we can. You know, I know yoga says that when your back knee is down, your front knee could drift a little bit, but alignment doesn't say that.
Alignment says the closer you keep that ankle to your knee, the safer that knee is. All right, so you got to find that sweet spot. Yeah, can it drift a little? Sure, but does it need to be controlled? Absolutely. Inhale, come up. Bend your left knee, reach back with your right hand, grab your ankle, your foot, or your strap. Walk your left hand forward so your thumb is right in line with your big toe. And take your left hand towards the edge of your mat. Now spin the bicep forward, so like you're rooting the shoulder back, you're leaning back into that left arm, like a kickstand, yep. And the right side of the chest opens up. Maybe now start to draw the heel towards the sit bone to deepen that quad stretch. But keep playing between the twist and then extending that quad into a deeper stretch. Keep reaching forward out of the crown of the head, the length in the spine, so the twist keeps getting deeper. Maybe even start to look up. And then watch the Boeing as you release. Inhale, come back to center. Wiggle the foot back in. Lift the back knee. Downward dog. Work through one vinyasa. From downward dog, reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Lower the back knee. Take the left foot out towards the left edge of your mat. So now this time, we'll bring a little intention to maybe bringing the left elbow down first. Again, if you could bring both of them down and hold that back hip, go for it. But if the trick kind of helps you hold the hips a little bit, then we're going to do the trick, right? Because this is going to make it a little more efficient. And this shit is hard, right? So anything that we lose and we have to rebuild up, that costs us more energy. We want to try to be able to hold everything, make it as optimal and as efficient as it can be. Here, the back wants to round a little bit. So keep looking forward and trying to like engage that spot between your shoulder blades from your head to your butt, like north to south, as compared to east or west, right, side to side. That's pulling your shoulder blades to the midline. We're not looking for that. We're looking for extension of our spine. And we're getting a couple openers here, right? We're on the inside of the thigh a little bit. We're in the back here on this hamstring. We're on that right leg. You're in the front of that thigh. You're into the hip flexors. A lot going on in this pose. And then inhale, come up. Bend that right knee. Reach back with your left hand. Grab the ankle, the foot of the strap. Walk the right hand forward so the thumb's in line with the big toe and is to the edge of your mat. Take the shoulder back. So see what I'm doing? I'm turning my bicep, and that roots into my upper back. That also starts to twist me, and I'm starting to open up the spine now because I can lean into that arm. Taking the left side of the chest back, that left shoulder back, and then I start to draw that heel towards the sit bone to take that stretch a little bit deeper. A little bit of engagement, hugging that left knee in. Keep reaching forward through the spines, through the crown of the head so the spine's long, and then maybe I go just a little bit deeper into that pose. One more breath. And then watch the Boeing as you release. Inhale, come back to center. Wiggle that foot back in. Place the hands, lift that back knee. Downward dog, move through one vinyasa. From downward dog, look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, take a nice big reach. Maybe curl back. Inhale, come up, exhale, hands in front. All right, grab your mats, find a spot on the wall, we'll go upside down. If you're at home, you don't have the wall to kick up on, you can always lay on your back. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor, interlace your hands behind your thighs, you reach the heel to the sky, take a bunch of breaths. And then you can swap into side two. If you are at home or in the studio, it's not your day to invert. You're always welcome to go legs up the wall or do a pose that feels good to you. Okay?
I'll talk everyone through downward dog and L pose. And then those of you that want to work your handstands or your headstands or your tripods or your pinches or anything else you want to mess with, later than that, you can work on your own, okay? So if you're going to stick with me, all fours, hands and knees, feet are touching the wall. If you're going to go on your own, whenever you're ready. All right? So if you're with me, all fours, hands and knees, just like we started out today, that low mountain. Take a couple breaths, build it up, get nice and strong. When you're ready, lift the knees and the hips, come to a short downward dog. Step one foot up the wall, and then the second foot up the wall. Exhale. It's an exhale away. Nice, y'all. Yeah, exhale. Breathe out. Yeah. Nice, y'all. Awesome. Remember, an inversion is anytime your head goes below your heart. Right? So we've been doing tons of inversions today. We've been in downward dog. Now we're just upping the ante a little bit. We're making the challenge a little bigger. Look awesome. Play around. We got about another minute or so. Your shoulder blades should be rising as your arms go overhead. Right? So you should feel that your shoulder blades are going up when your arms are overhead. So if you're in pincha, if you're in handstand, if you're in tripod, tripod's neutral. If you're in pincha, all those poses where the arms are going overhead, you have to feel the scapulas rise. And then let's meet on our backs. Okay, we'll meet on our backs. We'll meet on our backs. Knees are bent, feet on the floor. We'll do one bridge, one wheel, play wherever feels good to you. If you want to do supported bridge, you know you're always welcome to take that block under the sacrum, work to supported bridge. All right, so here we go. Sacrum's flat, head and shoulders are back. Start to charge the legs up, start to fire up the core. When you're ready, slowly lift the hips, come to bridge. Keep the tops of the thighs back. I tell you all the time, you're strong. So you're able to lift up a little bit too far. Right? You got to find where's the sweet spot where I'm lifting up in the bridge and I'm still keeping the tops of the thighs back. There's still that light crease at the front of my hip.
as compared to me over engaging and unwinding all that we just worked for. Maybe take the shoulders under a little bit deeper here. Maybe push the feet down and forward. Feel that back bend getting deeper underneath those shoulder blades. And as the knees reach forward, let the upper palate of the mouth reach back and the throat opens up. Bellies to spines, sit bones to the backs of the knees. And then stay engaged as you lower down. Sacrum lands flat, feet wide, knees touch. One hand on your heart, one hand on your low belly. Full breath in, complete breath out. Now on the second one, I'll talk you into wheel, but feel free to do another bridge or stay in your supported bridge, wherever feels good to you. Inhale, open the knees, reset the feet. Charge up those legs. Fire up that core. When you're ready, slowly lift the hips. Right? Slow is how you're going to be able to hang on to everything. If you want to go wheel, place your hands wide to the edges of your mat. Turn your hands out. Plug your shoulders in. When you're ready, push down to come up. If you're in wheel, maybe pump your heart towards the wall that you're looking at, and you'll slide the shoulders on the back even deeper. Everybody, one more breath. And then control it as you slowly lower down. Take the feet wide, let the knees touch. If your right hand was on your heart last time, left hand. And then open the knees, windshield wiper side to side. When you balance both sides, come to neutral. Hug those knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug or make a couple small circles. Take the legs out straight. Take the arms up overhead. Take a big reach. Spread the fingers, spread the toes. And hug the knees to the chest. Take the knees wide, come to happy baby. Sacrum stays flat. Knees stay wide, like wider than your shoulders. And you can rock side to side. You can reach one leg out, both legs out, whatever feels good. And when you're ready, inhale the knees to center. Exhale the legs out straight. We'll take Shavasana. Beautiful practice, crew. Feel free to add or remove layers or props. I'm going to talk everyone through laying flat, but you're more than welcome to do a variation. And as we lay back, the legs stretch out, the feet roll open, the arms come along the sides. The shoulders settle back as the palms turn open to the sky. Your head rests back, maybe your eyes close, and the tongue softens from the roof of the mouth. And as we feel the body get heavy, we're going to feel ourselves turn back to the breath. The breath get light. Each exhale clears and removes and makes space for us so the inhale can draw in something new. The heart opens to get ready to move the practice into the yoga of life, to apply all the work that we did on the mat, just like it'll bring us back to the mat, the practice again. Begin here to draw in a deeper breath. As the breath washes over the body from the toes to the fingers to the crown of the head through the heart, reawakening that better version of yourself. The fingers and the toes wiggle. Let the arms and the legs begin to stretch or reach, moving the way that feels good to you. Taking your time, moving slowly, consciously, being aware of what every action creates. When you're ready, you can hug the knees to the chest. Just roll to the right side. When you are ready, push your hands down. Come up to a seated position. We'll meet together with our eyes closed and our hands in front of our hearts. One more time to seal in our practice, our time together. The sound of Om. Deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. For all of that hard work, that determination, that challenge, the love and the support you always give each other, it's to you that I bow. Namaste. Thanks, crew. Good to see everyone. Home crew. You know, if you have any questions or anything feels weird, grab me before you go. Maybe I'll see some of y'all tomorrow or Saturday. Thanks, crew.